Oh, okay. You're just going to start it then.
I'm just going to go.
Where we go?
It's just going to start.
It's just going to start, and here we are.
Welcome, America.
Yep, all of America.
Welcome to the briefing desk.
Oh, sure.
Is that the news? The briefing desk? Is that a news term?
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know either. Hi.
There you go.
Welcome to 30-ish, everyone.
Wow.
And
Or is this on yours?
no, this is 30-ish.
Are you sure?
This is on 30-ish.
Oh, I'm impressed. Oh,
Welcome, everyone.
Hello, sorry.
Happy Sunday. How are you doing, Shay?
I'm pretty solid. I went on the lake yesterday, so I'm pretty feeling good.
She was on the lake. Did you drown almost, or anything crazy
Yes.
happen to you? Because
I'm a
every time
ghost
you're near a
right
body
now.
of water.
I'm a ghost right now. This is my paranormal.
Nope, I pinched her.
Yeah.
She's real.
It's just different now.
How was the lake?
It's beautiful.
It was fucking hot yesterday.
It was, but it was, well, compared to today, it was humid. But anyway, so yeah, it was beautiful. It was great. How was your weekend?
Mine was good. I just did some yard work yesterday with my dad out on the property, getting that event space ready.
Nice.
You guys ready to have some
Parties?
30-ish parties? Anyway, and some dinner parties.
Yeah. Mostly the.
And then I watched my little brother make this sweet arbor for his wedding. It's like a giant hexagon arbor
Hexagon
that
of
he
love.
made himself with two of his best friends. It was very cute.
That is super cute.
And then what did I do? Oh, we made some bomb-ass pasta for dinner last night with a bunch of...
Did you make it from scratch?
Yes, we did. And we used a bunch of farm produce. We did corn, squash, tomatoes, garlic.
Damn, girl.
And then just like...
Can you make that right now?
Let the juices of the tomato come out. And then we just added some butter. And then we have some green coriander right now, which if anyone knows what that is, it's when your cilantro plant is all hot and shit and starts flowering. Well, when it starts flowering, then it creates these little green coriander little buds. So if you didn't know if coriander came from cilantro,
Didn't
it's
know
the
that.
seed of a cilantro.
I learned something today.
Also, it's one of my favorite flavors in the fucking world. It's like when the little seed is like bright green and you just pick it off and you can garnish it with shit. You can put in whatever we put in our pasta sauce yesterday. It was so good.
That sounds really good.
And grow your own vegetables. Okay, that's all. That's all I got.
Yeah, that's, I had a grilled cheese yesterday, so.
That sounds good.
I mean, oops.
My face.
You're fine.
I'm fine.
Rub dirt in it. Walk it off. Okay.
Yeah. So, that was our weekend. How was yours? Hope yours was just as good.
Yeah. Probably was. But what are we talking about today?
Well, first of all, we're drinking something very delicious.
It's pretty delicious.
There's lots of things in there. Look at all that stuff. So today I drove past a Palisade peach stand because Palisade peaches are everywhere now in Colorado. Mm-hmm. It's peach season, y'all.
Yeah.
And so I was already going to make a whiskey honey lemonade because I might be talking about something that has to do with that. But anyway,
lost.
I decided to put peaches in it because it's Palisade peach time and they're so good.
They are really good.
So we put peaches in here, muddled them with like 2 teaspoons of honey. We muddled it with our tongs. Don't worry. We still have the tong muddler.
Don't worry, guys. We just can't figure out our lives and get our shit together.
It's fine. But it worked. So she muddled that together with a little bit of lemon juice. And then we added the whiskey and some lemonade. And then we didn't top it with Topo Chico today.
No.
But you could.
You could.
If you want. But we're just drinking our peach whiskey honey.
Peat whiskey.
Peat whiskey.
Just peat whiskey.
This is our peat whiskey.
It's really dope.
Speaking of Pete, there's this new movie with Pete Davidson called
Wow, that was a nice
Big Time
segue.
Adolescence on Hulu. And it's pretty fucking good and funny. And he's a fucking piece of shit, but also hilarious in it. But I just kind of feel like it's... Anyway,
Yeah,
it's
fair.
a good movie. It's good. It's entertaining.
Do you know what we should try, though, next time? We could do, like, a spiked iced coffee, but use one of these.
Oh, Shay found fucking Twinkie iced lattes.
You guys, come on now.
Blech.
Liquid diabetes?
Liquid
Come on.
diarrhea.
I mean, that too, probably.
Holy-
Instantaneously.
And diabetes after. Same time. Jesus, double D's on that shit.
100%. Not the good double D's.
No.
No.
Not those ones.
No, not these.
Yeah, we're not going to ever do that. We're never making coffee with Twinkie iced coffee.
Can you imagine? It's like, here's some corn
I feel like
syrup.
I would just like have a I would just like convulse.
No, I think you just get instant diabetes with that. That's just what you get with it.
And how do you make, I mean, how do they make any weird flavors that they make, but like Twinkie flavor?
Well, probably like a lot of yellow 5.
Mm-hmm. And then they just put chunks of the fucking cake in it. It's chunky. Just kidding. It's just like soaked Twinkies in a bottle.
Just modified cornstarch in a bottle.
And
Cornstarch. I don't know what's going on with my voice today. Anyway, it's interesting.
You got it. Well, all
right.
What are we talking about today?
You said you might be talking about something to do with honey.
I rolled
It's
food.
wasps.
I rolled food, and I wasn't going to give it away, but I might be talking about honey today.
Mm-hmm. And all the
Honey
things
and the
associated with
wonderful
Yep.
powers of bees.
Love it. And
And
then
what'd you
got
roll?
Some paranormal.
Okay,
so,
that's what I thought. I almost
which I
like
enjoy.
forgot
I'm
I
not going to
rolled.
say what it is yet.
Yeah, I don't want to know.
I know. I like to see the surprise on your face.
I wanted to surprise you, but I already
know.
told you.
Fucked it up.
I had to tell her.
Yep.
It's going to be a good one.
I'm excited.
It's going to be scary and it's going to be uplifting all at the same time.
Again, like
It's
my
like what-
dating time on Bumble.
Great.
Yes.
Well,
On that
let's Bumblebee on out of here. Bringing it back.
I love it.
And we'll catch you on the flip side, y'all.
Sweet.
Thanks for joining us on the live, friends.
Always.
Goodbye.
Diarrheitis. I like that.
Where do I?
Okay.
Oh, diarrheitis. Joey Baxter.
You're funny.
Where do I end this? Do you see it?
No, but this is hilarious that we're
You guys, I really don't know what's happening.
Nope, that's not right.
Nope.
That's
I
the
see
wall.
it. I see it. It was hidden in the wall color. Okay,
Yep.
bye, guys. Hello, everyone. It's
Hello.
Bree
And Shay.
and Shay. Okay, so food talk.
Yes.
I'm talking about the food the bees make us and how they make that shit.
Sugar water.
I'm basically talking about honey,
Yeah.
but also but honey's not the only thing I'll be talking about that bees make for us to provide us with one of the healthiest natural foods of all.
Oh.
It's not the healthiest, but it just has a lot of incredible properties that I'll talk about and health benefits.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, so that was a really long title. So we'll
That's
just
fine.
call this
Honey.
honey.
Perfect.
Honey. So first of all, what the fuck is honey, you ask? Well,
Okay.
it's a viscous liquid from bees.
Wow, I did not think that was going to come out of your mouth, so that was nice.
Well,
There's a lot of
technically,
science.
It's the flower nectar collected by the busy little bees
On their
that
legs.
they turn into honey. They collect them inside of themselves. They collect the pollen and some other stuff.
Along their legs?
The propolis along their legs. But I'll talk a little bit about that.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, girl, I'm about to learn you today.
Yeah, you are. Holy crap.
I told you I was excited.
You really are. You're not lying about it.
I love food.
Yeah.
So bees travel up to like 2 to 3 miles outside of their hive to go get
get
nectar
all the
from
shit?
flowers. Yep.
Like we do at the grocery store.
Little baby honeybees. And the flavor of honey varies based on the types of flower the nectar is received from. So,
Okay.
as you've probably seen in places, you can get alfalfa honey, sage honey, orange blossom honey. It's literally because those bees are taking the nectar from only orange blossoms or only alfalfa or only lavender.
Interesting.
Wildflower honey is obviously,
that
they can
that honey is
encompass lots
so
of
good.
wildness in there.
Yeah.
But
They're
yeah,
like the
so
boho of
that's where you
bees.
get different flavors for.
I didn't know that.
honeys.
I thought it had to do with not American. I thought it had to do with Americans. I thought it had to do with human kind of.
Additives.
Yep.
No.
Not Americans.
I mean, people do that for sure, but technically, like orange blossom honey is it's because the bees pollinate orange blossoms.
Nice.
And that's why that shit's more expensive, because they live in an orange fucking field. Mm-hmm. An orange orchard.
An orange orchard.
Anywho.
Orange orchard.
So,
orange
you can get both raw and pasteurized forms of honey.
okay.
Raw honey, however, is the best for you, as you can probably imagine. And it
Makes
also has trace amounts of yeast, wax, and pollen, and all the health benefits, because it's literally just like, all right, get it from the hive, and all the good things are still in it. They didn't strain it out. They didn't.
Yeah, just has all
It's
like
all the good stuff.
All the good stuff.
And also, yes, there is, like, even if you do strain out just the honey and don't have any of the particles in it, the honey itself, liquid, has natural, like, healing properties. But when you have all of it together, like the honeycomb, all the things, like, there's really good nutrients packed inside the beeswax that makes up the honeycomb. And so you're getting all those nutrients inside of there. And with straining it, you're not. So, also because when you remove the honey from the honeycomb, it's exposed to air, and it pulls water from the atmosphere, and it leads to dilution, and the honey creates a slight but significant difference in this nutritional value, like I just said. So the raw honey is the good stuff, and that's the stuff that really helps with, like, I'm sure you might have heard that honey really helps with seasonal allergies if you get local honey. So if you really want that to really be as effective as possible, you should eat honeycomb, like local honeycomb.
Just like not like Post, where you go and you get the honeycomb cereal.
No, not me want honeycomb. It's different.
Is that the slogan?
Yeah, it was like that crazy animal thing. It was like, me want honeycomb.
Oh yeah, that was actually pretty
spot
like on.
Animal thing, and it was very furry.
But before it was like a bear. No, it wasn't. That was Smacks.
That's Golden Crisp.
Oh shit!
Holy shit! We need to do a cereal episode. Oh my god.
Fuck Smacks. Oh no, the frog was Smacks. He was like, I dig him.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And then the bear was Golden Crisp.
Yes, and it was weird. I didn't like it.
That was weird. What the fuck
honeycomb?
was that?
Oh, Grandma used to have that all the time. It wasn't. She splurged on that. Now. She splurged on that shit. She didn't get the generic brand. She got the Post.
Fuck that. I hate when my mom got the generic shit. I'm like, this doesn't taste the same, and it's really hard. It's stale.
It makes my
Why
teeth
was it
jaggedy.
More stale?
Because it was
probably there forever.
Probably because it was like probably some like in
much.
some jail sale that that they have like expired food, and they're like, here, just put that in there. We'll just like kind of make an entire profit. Yep, exactly like that.
It's
across
like the
board.
reject honeycomb.
100%. Okay, go on.
Anyways,
Sorry.
so no, you don't get the nutritional value from the cereal.
Well, shit.
Long story short. So pasteurized honey, when you pasteurize something, you heat it up a lot. So you boil out all of anything good or bad that could be inside of that product.
That makes
which
sense.
keeps us safe, but also gets rid of all the good things that our body needs that are actually in them.
Like cheese.
Yeah, we talked about cheese that one time. Remember that?
Remember how they take all
Remember
the
that?
things out,
Remember
but leave
our
all the other good bacteria in?
Yep. Remember a friend, the nun?
She's a good nun.
Rose,
She's the best
I forget her
nun.
name now.
It's okay.
Anyway, so just like raw milk, they warn you against consuming raw honey, but it's like, just don't like get it. Just, you're fine.
You're okay.
Honey especially, you're fine, because things can't really grow in it, and I'll tell you why. But
magical.
Just don't feed it to an infant either, because
that's right. I did hear about that. You can't do that.
Because you never know.
You never know.
Also, just so you know, honey has been used for over 5,000 years for medicinal purposes, and probably even longer than that.
Okay.
Also, one of my favorite episodes of this show called The Human Planet. Have you ever watched that show? It's like Planet Earth, but about like different cultures.
So. No.
It's fucking amazing. And there's one episode where they go and into this like pygmy, they go like record this pygmy tribe who harvests this honey like in the tallest trees I've ever seen, that are like the tallest, skinniest trees I've ever seen. And they literally just like chop out little steps with an axe, and then they have a fucking vine that they use as a rope to like shimmy themselves up. You guys have to look this up on YouTube.
Crazy.
It is mind-blowing. And they literally climb up to the top of these trees to harvest this honey that like they're also getting stung by fucking bees while they're getting it.
Right. I think I've
And they're like on top of a tree with their just little loincloth things.
Right.
And then like the people that were filming it had to have so much equipment. They had to have like so much safety gear, all this shit. Meanwhile, these guys are like,
just
yeah,
like,
we just shimmy up the tree really quick. It's not quick, but it's mind-blowing. And
Dude,
it's all to get this honey that like provides
I would be like
for
the
them.
Hiccup of that tribe.
I'm gonna stay down here.
Like, just be like, I don't know. I'm just really bad at everything, and I'm really clumsy. So I'll just be down here, and you guys collect the honey for me. Because
I'll be your spotter.
I'll be your spotter. Like, I got it. I'll be like Karen from
Gotcha.
from Mean Girls.
Oh yes, yes.
Bring it on.
So yeah, that's a little fun thing about honey. So definitely look that up.
Cool.
And not only do bees provide us with honey, they also provide us with propolis, like I talked about, and they also provide us with their royal jelly. And also bee pollen is really good for us
royal
too.
Jelly. Oh, not that kind of jelly. I'm inappropriate. Sorry.
Oh, that's fine. It's kind of like a royal jelly, but I'll tell you about it in a second.
Okay.
It's like royal lady jelly. Anywho, we'll talk about it. So propolis is the stuff that's scraped. Bees. It's the stuff that's scraped from the bees from like trees and plants that surround their hive, and they gathers up on their little legs, and it actually is used to help build and support the hive, and it contains some pollen, essential oils, wax, and resin. The royal jelly is a thick, milky substance that's secreted by the worker bees, who are all female, to feed the queen and her future queen larvae. But only the future queens, which are like, I think they pick like 20 of them to be the future queen. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, there's like thousands of other ones that the queen picks to either be mainly female, and then there's some males.
Which is bananas to me.
The fucking bee world is insane. We should do a field trip to an apiary.
We should. And then we could go to my mom's house because she has a hive.
Oh, yeah.
She just got it. She said that she won't be able to make honey until
next year. Yeah.
But I guess they got started late, so they're supposed to start in the spring, but so they're like drinking a shit ton of like sugar water.
Yeah.
But they were fine. And then they told me like, yeah, like if they don't like the fucking queen, they're like, you know what? You gotta be gone. That's
Bitch,
it.
you know I'm about to talk about that.
Right, so something to think about, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't be doing that. Nope. So the royal jelly is good for us because of its amino acids, vitamins, enzymes, and trace mineral content found inside of it. Lots of people are putting royal jelly on their face and shit. It's good for your skin, I guess.
Didn't know that.
Bee pollen is also something that we get from bees. It's a mixture of the flower pollen, nectar, enzymes, honey, wax, and bee secretions. But the foraging bees collect the pollen from the plants and transport it to the beehive, where it's stored and used as food for the colony. But we take it out and use it for... because it has a bunch of nutrients, amino acids again, vitamins, lipids, and over 250 active substances in bee pollen. Damn. It's also a great garnish for desserts.
It is. I can attest to that shit.
It's yummy. And they're so pretty.
Good. Everyone loves honey.
Bees are dope, basically. They're the fucking incredible little insects. Also, so basically, I want to talk about how honey is made now. Mm-hmm. This is going to be, again, a Cliff Notes version because it is it's a mind-blowing, incredible, natural process how all the things happen. But I'm going to give you Bree's version. Okay?
Okay. I like it. Is it going to be a rap?
It could be.
Okay. Just check. I'm just
Hamilton
asking.
Style.
I like it.
Bees live. Just kidding. What? That's
damn it. And it was pretty good. I liked it. All right. The two ones, it was going some places. Anyway, go on.
The amount of work that like bees put in like 12-hour days, like they're non-fucking stop. It's actually mainly the girls.
For whatever reason though, like in my brain that I need to do some neuroplasticity on, or whatever that word is. Plasticity on. In my brain when you're like, they work 12, and I'm just like, thinking of like little bees with like little ties on, and they come home and they like, and you're like, and it's the women. I was like, see, I just immediately went to the men.
It's true, right? You think of the man's world. Oh yeah, working hard. It's got to be a bunch of men in suits.
Nope.
Suits.
And instead, they're just hanging out at the crib, chilling out.
Yeah, I'll tell you about that whole gender roles. Okay, we're gonna be talking about gender roles in a second.
Awesome.
Yeah, pretty much. Bees live. So there's over 20,000 types of bees. That's insane.
Well, that's insane.
But only one type of bee makes honey, the honeybee. Oh. But there's 40 subspecies of honeybee, but the honeybee, all the other ones don't make honey.
Do the 20,000 whatever species of bees, is it like, do wasps fall under the category?
I think so.
Or what? Okay, I was just curious. Okay.
I think so.
I was just curious. Okay, go on.
I think.
Or like yellow jackets or whatever.
Yeah, like that kind of shit.
Or
like
hornets.
bumblebees don't make honey.
But they're so
they
cute and fuzzy.
Actually, they do make honey, but they don't make a lot, and they
But
just
they're
save
cute
it for
and-
themselves.
Yeah, they're just like,
Bumblebees
go
are like
fuck yourselves.
Bumblebees are so cute.
You just want to hug them and pet them.
Do you remember Thumbelina and
I-
Prince Cornelius rode on his bumblebee?
Yep.
And I wanted to ride on his bumblebee as well.
I bet you wanted to ride on his bumblebee.
And now I really want to ride on his bumblebee.
He was a pretty sexy cartoon.
He was very handsome and strong.
What? He looked, because I think it was the same time as Anastasia was out.
Oh, he looked
and he
like
looked
Dimitri.
exactly like Dimitri.
Except he was more reddish hair.
It's true.
Kind of had reddish hair.
But they were both produced, I think, by
Some
the
of those
same company, so it
gingers.
makes sense. Because she also kind of looked like a more like, I'm an independent woman kind of Thumbelina. So
love that movie.
Anastasia did. So
Thumbelina.
God, I forgot about that stupid song.
No, what my favorite song is the Beatles song.
The Beatles song. Which one was that?
It was the guy who does the voice of Iago, and he's like the Beatle King, and it's like,
Was it? What's his face? Gilbert Godfrey?
yeah,
Is it?
yeah, it's his voice.
Interesting.
Now I can't think of I keep thinking of the Genie song now, so
Yeah,
never.
that's fair.
I'm confused.
It's okay. It'll come back
Forget
to
it.
you.
I won't sing you the Beatles song. We'll go
Fine.
back to bees.
Okay, go ahead.
So, foraging honeybees fly up to 55,000 miles to produce a pound of honey.
God damn. That's insane.
Broken down, that's about 556 bees visiting 2 million flowers. That's insane.
That's how important they
So
are,
next
guys.
time you buy 8 ounces of honey, which is a half a pound, or even a 16-ounce thing of honey, which is a full pound, think about how many motherfucking bees worked for you to get that.
just
and
work
that's-
all day and we're ungrateful.
Ungrateful.
Like little children.
They don't fuck around. Okay. Also, one hive can contain from 10,000 to 80,000 bees. And most of
Damn.
those bees are the ladies.
That's right. That's right.
Because they got to do most of the work because...
Duh.
Yeah. So we'll talk about the females real quick. So the female bees are also called, they're the forager bees, the worker bees, the nurse bees, the fucking janitor bees. They pretty much do everything.
Right.
They collect the nectar and pollen from the flowers to make the honey. They forage for food. They build the honeycomb, which includes secreting wax from their abdomens. They keep the nest clean. They defend the nest from predators. They feed the larvae.
And they don't get any thanks.
No!
No.
And then there's one top bitch, and she's the motherfucking queen.
That's right.
Queen bee.
Queen bee.
And no matter the size of the hive, so even if there's like 80,000 bees, there's one queen, which is insane.
Which is insane.
So, the queen just basically stays inside unless she's trying to get fucked.
Unless she's trying to get frisky.
She's trying to get impregnated.
Well, does she, I mean, because she like, doesn't she, well, I'll let you just talk. Never mind.
Well,
Go on.
the queen's primary duty is to lay eggs.
Right.
And in order to maintain a large colony, a honeybee needs to lay an average of 1,500 eggs per day. They can lay up to 3,000 eggs every fucking day.
I hope she has like a good, like, Summer Eves program down
Yeah,
there.
right? Damn,
Man.
girl.
Fuck.
She just gets, I don't know, someone to clean it out.
Wow.
She can lay up to 3,000 eggs a day, which is crazy. Yeah, she needs a healthy routine for sure. And basically, so I'll tell you a little bit about how the mating process goes on when I talk about the male bees, but
Does she
shit's
do
crazy.
a
The
dance?
queen also lives like 2 to 5 years, so most
Really?
bees do not live that long at all. It's just the queen.
That was my
does, 'cause
next
she
question.
just keeps fucking keeping it going, keeping the colony strong until she can't anymore.
Fucking for life.
So
I
if
love
a second queen somehow appears in the colony, the workers will either force the invading queen out of the hive or the two queens will fight to the death. It's called superseding. Okay?
Do they have like, I just imagine like, did you ever watch Star Trek? No.
My dad did.
It was like, it's just like, I guess there was like a battle between, I can't remember which movie it was, but I just.
Good and evil.
No, I'm sorry. You will know this from Cable Guy when he's like talking about Star Trek and he's like in the
I've only seen that movie twice.
in the medieval arena. Where he's like,
Oh.
dun, 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 and I could just imagine the queens doing that for whatever. They have like sticks for whatever reason.
Yeah, with their little stingers.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, that too. Not just batons.
They could have a baton.
They could have
That
batons.
is their built-in baton.
That's true.
Their booty baton, girl.
Their booty baton.
So also if the queen isn't performing well and like isn't secreting the hormones or pheromones she's trying to secrete, or she's not like producing enough, or they're just whatever, like, the males force her out. That's when they come in. That's what one of their jobs. They're like, oh, we got to find a new queen.
They got some
They
cojones.
find the new queen.
They got some cojones.
And then
You not fucking right, girl?
No. So,
get out.
Yeah, so her jobs are
Damn.
mate with the drone bees, which are the males. They're called drones.
So really, they just hang out. And that's what they do. They're just there for fucking.
They're literally there to fuck.
Wow.
So the queen produces eggs. She gives, and so I was talking about the pheromones, but the pheromones she gives off influences all the behavior of the colony. So it helps her also distinguish herself as herself, so they know that she's the queen. But also it like she basically tells others to do their jobs by releasing these hormones. So like, oh, it's time to clean the hive. Oh, it's time to feed me, bitch. Oh, it's time to guard some people. Oh, there's some shit happening. Do some things. She just secretes these little smells, and they're like, oh, I got it.
Damn.
Fucking nature, dude. I bet we could do that, but we're too fucked up.
We are. We don't know.
We're too in our own society to realize our powers.
It's true. And we'd be told, like, we told one thing, like, okay, well, if in order to do all this, to get what you need, then you need to, like,
actually do this.
You need to, like, put a blindfold on for 3 hours. And we'd be like, what?
Mm-hmm.
We can't even wear a mask. Anyway, going on.
Moving on. So, what do the male bees do, you ask? Well, they are essential to the health and survival of future honeybee colonies.
Fair.
But they literally just hang out in the hive, wait to mate, and that's about it.
Just eating.
They literally just
sleeping
eat and fuck and then die. Mm-hmm. They literally actually live to fuck.
And then they just die.
Because they literally die after they successfully mate.
So they're only, like, alive for a very short period of time.
I think they can survive a couple weeks because the queen's not always, like, out and trying to. I think she only, like, goes out one time and does her thing, and then for like 3 years they just keep producing. And the male, I don't see. That's another, like, there's so much fucking information. Right.
You weren't gonna delve in, like, how many times does she need to be?
Well, I did Google that.
Okay.
I Googled all of it
to produce a day's worth of eggs, because I mean, like, that is actually pretty intense.
Well, so I'll tell in a second. Hold on.
Okay. Sorry.
We're jumping ahead.
I'm very excited about bee sex ed.
Okay. Well,
which is probably gonna be the name
of
this episode.
So basically, after he pulls out of her sting chamber, after he pulls what's called an endophallus, or his dick, out of her sting chamber. Her sting chamber.
That will forever be the name of my vagina.
Get in my sting chamber.
Get in my sting chamber.
Come put your honey in my sting chamber. Okay. So listen to what happens after he pulls out.
No. Oh my god.
After a male bee pulls out, his abdomen rips open and he dies.
Holy shit. God damn.
Good thing that only happens to bees.
Right? Like, maybe we could just call it, like, a ripped off chamber. Jesus
But
Christ.
I did find out that they can attempt to mate like 10 different times.
Because they're like, don't take it off, don't pull it off.
They're like, I'm scared. I guess they just, like, pull out sooner than later.
They're like, ha, didn't get me.
They're like, gotcha, bitch.
She
don't come in or come on her, you know?
Right? Yeah, she's like, I'm doing a new method.
But yeah, once they only successfully impregnate.
But, like, does she, like, clamp down on it or something? To rip off the abdomen?
It, like, well, when it's successful, it, like, twists or something, and then it, like, that's, like, the process.
So, like, he could mate with her, but not actually successfully mate with her up to 10 times, essentially.
Yes, no. He only mates each bee. So she gets impregnated when she goes out, like, 15 times.
Right.
15 to 20 times.
Like a kitty cat sometimes.
Well, I mean,
cats can get pregnant multiple mates.
But this is, like, in one day. Like, she, like, goes out. There's, like, a swarm of 1,000 bees. She gets impregnated 10 times, and then she goes back in her thing, and then for 3 years, she's just, like, pumping out babies, basically.
Oh, okay.
Is what I understood.
Oh, so, like, 3 years, like, it's, like, good for that. Okay.
She's good. She just keeps all the shit. She keeps all that sperm inside of her, and she just, like, does, like, millions and millions.
She literally is the name of a cum dumpster.
She is a cum dumpster. A queen bee is a cum dumpster, not Beyonce. So AKA the cum dumpster of nature, the queen bee.
And that actually is like, it's a good thing. It's not a bad term for these ladies.
This is literally what they're born to
what
do.
a weird
and live.
concept. Nature is weird, man.
There is some masterful plants or some weird ass shit going on.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Okay.
So listen to this. So
Okay.
that bee, like I said, the queen bee gets fucked like 15 times.
Like a lot of times.
And so obviously the one bee, she's mating one at a time though.
Right.
So it's like that guy's dick is still in her. So the other bee has to come around and pull it out and then put his dick in and then he dies. And then that happens 15 more times.
Oh my God. Can you
and
imagine?
that is the natural birds and the bees of
if
bees.
like there wasn't a head basket for a guillotine and then you had to like remove the head of like the thing that like, oh yeah, this is I'm going next. So I remove the head first. That was weird.
That was really weird.
That was weird. It was like a little short. I have to remove the head from the guillotine and then I will place my head through the guillotine and die. That's essentially the same thing, but then they don't get to have sex before they die. But
they don't.
Holy crap.
Isn't that like insane?
Nature's kind of mean. Like, what did the honeybee do to the great creator or whoever it is up there that was like, you know what?
That's why we
you can
so
go
special.
fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself.
It's so special.
Damn.
Yeah, shit's crazy. So, whew.
Yikes. All right.
I thought this was a funny little excerpt from a book that was written in 1912 about the male honeybee and what they called him.
Nice. Okay.
The honeybee drones are often called lazy willy and are often assumed to merely function as flying sperm.
I mean, not wrong. Not wrong, good
Okay,
sir.
hashtag gender roles. Okay.
Yes.
So moving on. So the ladies
So
connect
many good titles in this.
right. I told
many.
you. I told you.
So
Shay.
good. All right, go ahead. Keep going.
So many innuendos. So the ladies are collecting the nectar and the pollen and all the things, the propolis. They're making the jellies. They're bringing it back to the hive. Also, just so you know, they collect their body weight in the nectar, bring it back to the hive, go back out. Collect their body weight in nectar, bring it back to the hive, go back out. That's literally their fucking life.
Right.
And to put it into perspective for you, the most advanced design in aircraft can only take off with a load 1/4 of its own size. So nature,
Jesus.
again, does it best.
Damn.
When will we learn to stop fucking it up?
I mean,
Anyway,
never.
Isn't that crazy?
Till the human population dies off.
Yeah.
That's bananas.
Yeah.
Fuck.
They're badass bitches. That's
I'm
for
just,
sure.
my mind
they
is
are
blown.
they are the equivalent of a boss bitch.
They are. They really are.
They're
fucking
the
bees.
definition.
And they're endangered right now? That sucks.
Yeah. Because let's just spray everything with pesticides.
We all gonna die.
Because I don't want to
We're gonna
work
die.
hard. I don't know. Anyway, so when a honeybee returns to its hives, it passes its nectar to another bee, another girl, of course. The males are just like, I read something that they literally like, they'll hang out in the hive, fly around for a couple hours with each other and then come back, but they don't even collect nectar. They don't even go to flowers. So I guess if you're seeing a random wandering bee, that's probably a boy. Just so you know. Be like,
Okay.
what's up, dude? Get your lazy ass back to the hive,
He's
boy.
like, no, that's where dicks get chopped off. I'm not going back there.
I gotta stay out here.
I'm staying out here.
Don't chop off my weenie.
Jesus.
So, pass it. So, they bring the nectar back to the hive, pass it to another bee. They like regurgitate it back to each other a couple times. And then once that process is done, they deposit it into the honeycomb that the other bees were busily making. They all have their own little jobs. And so once it's in the comb, the nectar is still pretty, it's viscous, but it's nothing like as thick as honey is. So that's because there's still a lot of water content in it.
Right.
So when they're doing this digestive like regurgitation process, they're actually that's partially taking some of the water out.
Right.
But in order to fucking evaporate the rest of the water, do you know what they fucking do, Shay?
I don't know.
They just flap their fucking wings around.
Like a
and that's
magical fucking story tell.
The boys don't flap the wings.
Not shocking.
But
They're like, you know what, ladies?
Actually,
my dick's gonna get chopped off later. You guys can go ahead and do whatever you
flap
want.
your goddamn wings. You actually have a purpose.
Yes.
I just have to get my dick chopped off and die. So they're like, fine, we'll flap for you.
Damn, that's pretty dope.
Yeah, so they just like flap their wings until they know that the honey is ready. They fucking know. And then do you know what they do once the honey is perfect and ready?
bundle it up.
Kind of. They sorry. So once honey is ready, the bees then cap the cells, which is basically like putting a lid on a jar and like sealing it.
They make a little mason jar.
And that's how you know it's ready, and that's how they know it's perfectly stored, and that's how a beekeeper knows the honey's ready, because when you lift it up and there's not a cap on it, it's not ready to go. They put it back down. So like when the cap, the little wax cap is on it.
They mason jar it up.
They fucking are the canning and preserving insects.
Holy crap.
Of nature. The canners and preservers of nature.
Jesus, not only do they just make the product, they also like bottle it up for you.
They are 100% sustainable operation.
100%. And
100.
They're not getting nothing of the cut.
No.
Damn. It's pretty thuggy.
Yeah, and then we just take all their honey and like, here's some sugar water. We get all your good honey you made for your winter harvest.
And they're like, whoa, well,
It's
now
fine.
what?
So yeah, so the bees' main season for producing, as you can imagine, is only spring and summer, because they need flowers and nectar, and they can do they basically harvest as much until they can't anymore. So probably in other places like, California, they could maybe get some stuff a little later, but I don't know if that's true. I just assume.
Sure, why
because
not?
they grow shit year round.
Right.
But so in the fall and winter, they just stay in their hive and like bundle together and like vibrate each other and keep each other warm and just eat their honey that they made. A lot of beekeepers, like big industrial places, just like take them all and then just give them sugar water, and then they do their whole thing.
That's so.
And then,
just never
but
stop working.
there are bees that
Do they hibernate?
No, I think they just they kind of do, because they don't go out of the hive,
they
but they just
slow
stay in their
down.
bee.
So
they
like
just slow down.
In the spring, like even with beekeepers, they just give them sugar water. They know not to keep producing honey.
In the winter.
I hope so. That would be very sad.
Yeah, because they can only produce it if they're getting nectar from flowers and shit. So like if they're
technically,
and they don't go outside if it's cold. Like they know if it's gonna rain. They know if it's like.
So like technically, a beekeeper could keep a bee making honey all year round. Because they're giving them sugar water, or they're giving them.
If there's flowers and stuff, then yeah,
that's
I think.
mean.
I mean,
I hope they don't do that.
But yeah,
very concerned about their well-being, and if they get PTO,
they should. Yeah, so that honey that they're making, that they're like fucking storing up, is for their winter, so they can survive. But a lot of beekeepers also, you can take a lot of the honey, but still leave them some. Yeah. Enough. But yeah.
Okay.
So just try to get local, better honey producer honeys, because they're usually better for their bees too.
And it tastes better usually, actually.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
So what are the health benefits of this miracle little liquid made by our friends the bees?
Makes good throat lozenges.
Like I said, it's been used for centuries. In Ricolas and halls.
Mostly just Ricolas.
So honey is low, like the actual finished product is low in water and high in sugar. And because of this, bacteria cannot grow in it.
Okay.
So it's antibacterial. Okay. Naturally. And it also contains small amounts of hydrogen peroxide, which inhibits the growth of microbes. And the reason it has hydrogen peroxide in it, which also makes it antibacterial and like antiseptic, is because when the bees are secreting the honey into the comb, like this chemical reaction happens. I forget what it's called, like oxidazy. That's not the word. But
oxidize?
No, it's not oxidize. It's
okay. It's something different.
Weird.
It's all good.
But yeah, that chemical reaction is what creates hydrogen peroxide in the honey.
Oh, nice.
It's not like obviously like you're gonna die. No. It's just like enough to make it antibacterial and antiseptic.
Cool. Antiseptic.
So studies have also shown it's effective against dozens of strains of bacterial infections, including E. coli and Salmonella.
Oh, wow.
So just rub some honey on your fucking countertop. Right up. Yep. Modern science has shown honey's effectiveness in treatment of ulcers, bed sores, burns, skin sores, and inflammation. Mm-hmm. It's been known to heal wounds that don't respond to antibiotics.
That's crazy.
Although care must be taken to make sure it's free of any contaminants. So this is like medical grade
Right.
Like, they use medical grade honey in hospitals and shit now.
That's amazing.
Which is good. Because, wow, who would have thought you wouldn't have to make some fucked up shit to put on a human?
Who knew that nature was giving you the tools the entire time?
Yeah, who would have fucking known?
That's amazing.
That.
Very cool. I'm just be asking for, like, if I ever was in the hospital, just give me sugar, like, give me water with honey in it all the time.
Can I just have honey water?
Fuck your antibiotics.
Which is why I made a honey drink today.
I feel good already.
Good. We are healthy as fuck.
There are 2 shots of
only 2 shots
in
today. I'm self-conscious now.
I know.
So, honey holds a promise as an anti-cancer agent. There has been studies about it, but there's not a lot that, like, really prove it. I mean, just like with all these natural things, everyone's like, it's not really proven. It's like fuck you.
You need to do some neuroplasticity.
You need to get your neural pathways repaved. Anywho.
It's true.
It's a preventative for heart disease because it contains high levels of antioxidants that fight oxidative stress and inflammation.
Nice.
Which could also cause cardiovascular disease, so it helps with that. There's a specific type of honey that's like making a huge
splash.
One of the honeys making a huge splash right now is tualang honey. It's from Malaysia.
Sounds fancy.
Or no, I'm sorry.
Okay.
The Malaysian honey is the tualang. The New Zealand honey is called Manuka, which I'll talk about in a second. But the tualang honey has been shown to fight staph and digestive bacteria responsible for peptic ulcers, H. pylori, which is another disease thing.
A disease thing.
It's like a disease thing, so it's not good. And it's also used in medical settings to treat wounds because it's been found as an effective germ killer and aids in tissue regeneration.
Wow.
Manuka honey, like I was just talking about, it's from New Zealand, and it may help reverse bacterial resistance to antibiotics.
Damn.
Which is crazy. And just so you know, a Manuka is an evergreen tree that grows in New Zealand.
Damn.
Honey is also a potent prebiotic, which means it nourishes the good bacteria that live in the intestines, which is crucial for digestion and health. So a lot of people are talking about probiotics, but prebiotics are just as important as probiotics because it kind of helps like start up your stomach to
100%.
like receive the good shit. Also, we all know honey soothes your sore throat. Just a spoonful of honey.
It's better than sugar.
Soothes your throat. Yes, it is. Also works as a cough suppressant.
Yes.
It's been shown to decrease the severity and duration of diarrhea.
I didn't know
We
that.
were just talking about diarrhea.
I know. So perfect. So serendipitous.
So if you drink that Twinkie iced latte and you get diarrhea, just eat some honey and it'll help.
It'll absorb right up.
It'll absorb right up. Yeah, so fuck you, Pepto-Bismol.
That stuff is foul.
Honey also promotes increased potassium and water intake, which is really helpful when you're experiencing the diarrhea.
That's fair.
When you're walking up a ladder and you hear something splatter, diarrhea.
Oh my god, I forgot about that song.
That's like my favorite game.
Why? How is it a game?
Rhymes. Because you just make up rhymes.
God.
If you're walking...
I thought you were like, that's my favorite game is to walk up ladders and have diarrhea.
No.
I was like, that's a really weird game, dude.
Making
like,
up a song.
I'm so glad I did not go over to your house for game night.
No.
So that's super good to know.
I had a really good one time and I don't remember it. Maybe I'll sing it to you later. That
would be nice.
So... It also prevents acid reflux. It reduces the upward flow of stomach acid and undigested food, and does this by lining your esophagus and your stomach. So
once again, don't do the Pepto-Bismol. Just have a spoonful of honey. Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense.
And it helps, and because of that, it helps with heartburn and inflammation.
There it is.
And again, don't give it to your infant. That's about it. That's the only warning I have.
Okay,
I like it. To an infant.
Don't give it to an infant.
And so just think of honey as like you would, healthy foods. Like just adding it to your diet, not eating it like, don't drink like a cup of honey a day because it's also has a lot of sugar.
It has a lot of sugar, yeah. Don't do that.
But I mean, adding it to your normal routine or just, using it instead of sugar or using it instead of whatever
100%.
is helpful for sure.
Yes.
And there's a quote that actually states, if all bees died, that the human race would only last 3 to 4 years, because
I believe that.
most of our food is
Created by bees.
I mean, we need pollination in order for our food to fucking grow and shit. Yeah. And yes, the wind helps pollinate things, but the bees do the most of the work.
They do.
And the wind can't be alone, okay? We can't just paint with the colors of the wind.
No, we cannot.
Sometimes we can.
Sometimes you can, and sometimes the wind can be.
But that's not all we need.
You know.
Yeah.
Okay, I like
And that's honey. Also, another little thing. There's a sweet documentary called Honeyland on Hulu.
Okay.
And it's about this fucking old lady, and I don't know where she is. I still need to watch the whole thing because I fell asleep. But it's crazy. She like harvests honey in these like caves that she makes, and that's like her whole life. And she lives in this little village. And then these motherfuckers come in, and then they like learn from her, and then they try to steal her shit. And it's a documentary, and it's crazy, and
that's pretty dope.
It's all about honey, Honeyland.
Like okay, that's pretty dope.
And that's all I got.
All right, sweet.
Honey, honey, how you thrill me. Honey, honey. Do, 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 do.
Gotta love me some Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia. Here you go again, Shay.
That's right.
About to get into some paranormal.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
So for my paranormal, I will be talking about the Missouri State Penitentiary.
Oh, God.
You ever heard of it?
I mean, probably. I figured they had one.
I mean,
every state does.
Every state does. Actually, this one
I've heard of the Alabama one, the Alaska one, the Oklahoma.
I believe actually this one it's the oldest still standing. It's not in operation anymore, but still standing penitentiary in America. In America.
American.
America.
Well,
okay.
Let's hear about this, shall we?
Yep. So it is located in Jefferson City, Missouri, and it operated from 1836.
Wait, where's Simpson? Springfield,
Missouri, but okay. I think no, there's
I knew that.
Illinois. Fuck. But like, it's a make-believe city. I think. Maybe You're not. Right. No, I don't know. It's like the time I was trying to figure out the
Simpsons. I don't know why I tried.
It's okay. It's like the time I was trying to figure out how like where Ohio was on the fucking map.
Yeah,
Where's Ohio? Tricky. It's the one shaped like a gun, right? Fucking stupid.
It's shaped like a.
It's like a weird like a
mitten.
Yeah, like a mitten.
If you have a really deformed hand.
Hi. Yep, exactly. But it's fine. Some people have deformed hands, and that's okay.
That's fine.
It's fine. Okay, so it is located in Jefferson City, Missouri, and it operated from 1836 to 2004. That's 170 years, folks. Okay.
Ew. Oh my God. And can you imagine being in a cell that someone's been in 1864?
Oh, we'll talk about that. So.
Oh no.
So yeah, so it served as the state of Missouri's primary maximum security institution. And pretty much the reason why it was built, because I think it was Jefferson City, and what's the capital of Missouri? Shit. I didn't write it down.
Oh my God. Little Rock? That's Arkansas.
No. I'm so sorry. That's not right.
What is
Jefferson? No.
St. Louis.
No.
Jesus.
Missouri. I'm so sorry. Erase all of this. Jefferson City is the state capital of Missouri. I meant to say yes. There was a reason. I can't remember.
St. Louis.
It was St. Louis was vying to be the state capital at the time. So. So yeah. So the reason and
at this time,
right? So at this time, St. Louis was trying to be the capital. Don't erase that. Just go ahead and just coast along with that stupidity. Anyway, so they were trying to be the state capital, St. Louis, but then they're like, we're going to build a prison. They're like, all right, you can have it. So that was the reason how they got the name to be the state capital, was because they built this prison. Not even kidding. That's facts. That's history.
That is fucking weird.
Right?
Yeah. We should do a history of prisons one day.
That would be kind of nice, right?
Fucked.
It'd
be good.
Super fun.
So, anywho,
before it closed, it was the oldest operating facility, correctional facility, like the west of the Mississippi River. Which I don't know why I love that statement, but I do. I don't know.
West of the Mississippi.
So Anyway, so yeah, so that was before it closed. So obviously now they shut it down in 2004. So this is just a fun fact because I thought it was just really interesting because again, it's like when you hear something that like when you talk about the Alamo, which I'm about to talk about, it's just like it happened so long ago. So the facility opened for business in March of 1836, the same month as the fall of the Alamo in Texas. So to me, I don't know why, but like it seems so far away, but at the same time, it's not. Mm-hmm. But I had 170 years. It's only like a couple generations. Like my grandpa was living. Not my grandpa, but you know what I mean. I don't know. It's just a weird kind of concept in my brain. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
It seems so much longer, but it's like, no.
Right. But it's not. But yeah, it's weird.
They make us feel like it was, but it wasn't.
But do you know why? Because since America's only like 350 years old? Something like that?
Yeah, we just had the birthday. Yeah, I don't remember. My dad texted it to me.
It's very, like, how old she is. That's weird.
He did, on 4th of July.
I'm not going to lie to you. That's a little weird.
He was like, today's the birthday.
It is her 397th. You give her a gift.
Dude. Oh, it's my old phone. Damn it.
Anyway, I probably could have looked it up. But yeah, so I guess because we are still technically a new country. I mean, in the grand scheme of a lot of other countries out in the world and continents on the world.
We're babes.
We're babies. So I think it's like we don't have any of that kind of like 170 years. I think it's pretty fucking old for this country to be still around. Like, you know what I mean? So I think it's just like we don't have a lot of that. Anyway, shit's fascinating to me. It's fascinating. Okay, so here's some notable inmates. So we had Robert Berdella. He was a serial killer, a torturer, and a rapist. He was sentenced to life imprisonment without the right to parole in December of 1988. So that was just a notable guy. I'm actually I made this list mostly also for myself because I'm like, I'm going to research him later. Anyway, Emma Goldman was an anarchist. And she was incarcerated in 1917 to 1919 for conspiracy to induce persons not to register. So she was a little badass for the draft. So she was making like, don't do it, don't fucking do it. She got arrested. She got arrested for it. Nice. Not just for that, but she also advocated for the use of birth control. So throw that bitch in fucking prison.
Get that witch in there.
Get her in there. So she even had the title at one point of the most dangerous anarchist in the country. So
hell yeah,
fuck girl. Yeah, girl. So what's her name? Emma Goldman. So she is credited with having had a tremendous influence on the founders of Planned Parenthood and the American Civil the American Civil Liberties Union.
Hell yeah,
right. So
get it, girl.
You know. Just
worth
noting because she was a little fucking badass.
She's like a little fucking worker bee, isn't she?
She is a fucking worker bee. So she was in there for no fucking reason, to be honest. So they're just like, she's not in the kitchen. Throw her in jail. So anyway.
She spoke out of turn?
Yes. Don't throw him in jail too because he didn't keep a lock on his woman. In all honesty, she probably wasn't even married because she don't need a fucking man. So we had Kate Richards O'Hare, and she was incarcerated on April 19, also in 1919, to serve a 5-year sentence for an anti-war speech she had given in Bowman, North Dakota.
Meanwhile, the men in jail are the ones murdering, raping.
Like, yeah,
great,
right. So, Kate O'Hare's prison sentence was commuted by President Woodrow Wilson in May 1920. So good on President Wilson on that one. And later, she was given a full pardon by President Coolidge.
Nice.
So she at least got some justice. Then we had Pretty Boy, Charles Arthur, Pretty Boy Floyd, which...
Oh, Pretty Boy.
Pretty Boy does sound familiar, but I didn't do... Obviously, this is not really about them, but, I'm like, I want to...
check mark.
Check mark that.
Or whatever.
Earmark that. I was like, dog ear? No, that's not right. Okay, anyway. So,
yeah?
Oh my God, speaking of dog ears, so I was on the lake yesterday, right? So... When we're coming up to dock the boat, there was 5 Burmese mountain dogs that were just chilling out in the water. And they were all in the same family. So this family just had a herd of Burmese mountain dogs and they were just chilling out.
Yep, that's going to be my life.
So fucking cute. Anyway, okay, moving on. I thought of you when I saw them.
Puppies were born on the 16th.
Have you seen pictures?
Not yet.
That was her little announcement that she's getting a puppy. Okay, so he was incarcerated.
Unless he waits to the next litter, but that's not till spring, so I don't think he wants to do that.
No. But he has a little down payment on it yet?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but it's so he can like has a down payment. He can choose. So if nothing feels right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So he can wait if he wants.
Oh, nice.
Well, anyway,
good.
They were born on my half birthday.
It might be fate.
Is that good?
Yes.
Is that?
Do you know if you want like a little girl or a little boy?
I kind of want a girl, but
switch it up.
Chris might want a boy.
Really?
There's only 2 boys though.
Gonna be fighting for it.
I know, but he ultimately is choosing.
Yeah, because you're like, that's not my dog.
It's your dog.
You do.
So maybe I'll get one in the spring.
Ooh, little twinsies.
I don't know. We'll see.
Be cute.
Cousins.
Okay, so he was incarcerated in 1925 for robbery, and he actually died after being shot by police in 1934. Anyway, so then we had Charles Sonny Liston. He was a boxer incarcerated in 1950 for a number of charges, including armed robbery. He learned to box in prison and was paroled in 1953. Apparently, he died under strange circumstances in 1970. So there was a whole kind of thing about him, but I'm like, this is not about the fucking inmates, so keep it focused, Shay. I'm just giving you the notable, giving you some notable stuff who was in this prison because it was open for a fucking long time. Then we had Carl Austin Hall and Bonnie Headey. Headey. No, Hetty. I'm gonna go with Hetty. The duo was abducted and brutally murdered. No, they weren't. The duo who abducted and brutally murdered a boy named Bobby Greenlease. A week later, they were arrested, tried, and sentenced to death. They were both incarcerated until their execution by gas chamber in 1953. And I believe those two they put them in the gas chamber side by side.
They didn't do it together?
No. They did it together, yeah, which is weird, right? I've never heard of that
But
before.
they weren't like in the same one?
Yeah. No, they were in the same one. Like they put there was only one gas chamber on the site, and they put them in there. And there's like 2 in the pictures. It's like these 2 chairs. Can you imagine?
Well, at least they went out together.
That's right.
Like The Notebook, but different.
But very different. Jesus. Then we had Charles Ray Hatcher, and he was a serial killer who murdered 16 victims within a 12-year span. He committed suicide in the penitentiary by hanging himself in 1984.
Just like Jeffrey Epstein supposedly did. Anyway, quotes,
air quotes.
Hopefully Jillian doesn't do the same.
Hopefully. We'll see. Doesn't commit suicide.
Shit's getting crazy.
Anyway. Fucking nuts. And lastly, we had James Earl Ray, which we all know who that is.
Yeah.
Ray was admitted to the penitentiary in 1960.
Who was that?
I'll tell you here in a minute.
Are you not going to tell me because I don't know exactly who?
Yeah.
That name sounds familiar.
Yeah. No, you're like, oh, of course. So in 1959, he was caught stealing $120 in armed robbery of like a St. Louis Kroger store. So that's why he was in prison. He was given a 20-year sentence. And on April 1967, he escaped from the penitentiary in a bread box that was supposed to contain loaves of bread that was being transported from the prison to a different prison. Somewhere during the trip, he escaped, and he was later convicted of the assassination of MLK Jr. in 1968. So,
Duh, Brianna.
Yeah, no, you're fine. It's all good. So, yeah.
And that's why I'm learning.
And that's why you're learning.
So I can remember people's names.
But it's okay, because then he died of hepatitis C, so sucks to suck. Okay, anyway,
good,
going on.
you fucking dick.
Yep. So, the end. Okay, no, I'm just kidding.
So wait, he was already in jail?
He was in jail, and he escaped.
And he escaped? And he killed Martin Luther King?
That is correct.
Or the story goes?
Mm-hmm.
Or they
released him.
Or they fucking...
Who knows?
Yeah.
No, he escaped in a bread box, and then he was on the loose. I think it was because he was incarcerated in 1960. He escaped like 7 years later on a 20-year sentence, and then he killed poor Mr. King. So a shit ton of rotten assholes.
I don't know. That series of events, like, all right, I was a robber, and then I'm
just gonna go and kill somebody in the face.
I'm just gonna assassinate Martin Luther King.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whatever.
It's weird.
That's fucked.
So, long story long, it was a shit ton of rotten assholes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And women who probably should have been there, clearly.
Well, yes, they
were
should
just
have.
Using their voices,
They
and then how
stepped out of line.
Stupid little whores. Go back to your beehive and that's what you're supposed to be doing. But don't bite off our dicks. Okay, so I don't mean
to the attic.
Also, I don't also mean like all men are assholes.
No, we don't think that.
No, but these ones were. I'm just saying that.
And I don't think all men are lazy like worker bees. They're
not. But
obviously
some
not.
are. Some are.
There's.
That's okay.
It's just funny.
It is just funny. It's just funny
boys.
because it's like it's just a role reversal. It's just like how we hear these horrible stories, and I know that there are men in sex trafficking and everything else, but the stories you hear, unfortunately, are just about women, and I know that there also men are very victim to this too, but you don't hear that, so it's just sometimes it's just like it's kind of funny to talk about, like how like they were just like, oh, those poor little boys, they're little sex slaves. How do you like it? Never mind. Okay, moving on.
And your dick gets ripped off when you fuck me.
Sweet poetic
I'm
justice.
Rip your dick off and you're gonna die. So come and get it.
You're gonna
come get my
climax
stinger.
and I'm gonna like rip it off.
What is it called? The sting box?
The sting
box?
My sting box. Nope, that's the name of the episode. And no, it's the sting chamber.
The sting.
But the sting box is so much better.
The sting box.
People short that in the sting box. Okay.
I remember I'm writing
it's her
things
box,
down.
but it's full of stingers. Okay, so this was once called the bloodiest 47 acres in America. It was given by Time magazine in 1967. The Mercer State Prison saw 40 inmates executed, most by the gas chamber. One was executed by the lethal injection, and a few others were hanged. The prison had an array of buildings, one which was a hall, like it was a housing unit, and under a hall in the a hall.
Such an a-hole.
It's just an a-hall. And under a-hall in the basement were the dungeons, also called the hole, and it was a place where no prisoner wanted to end up. So the dungeons were...
That's where you're going next, the hole. After the sting box.
Jesus Christ. It all sounds terrifying.
I'm a chokey.
I'm gonna chokey. That's what it should have been called. The chokey.
Sexual rooms. Just kidding.
They all are gonna rip your dick off. So the dungeons were rooms without any type of light, except from when like the guards would open the doors to pass food to the inmates. There were up to 6 inmates in a dungeon cell at one time. It is said that one prisoner was housed in the dungeon for 17 years.
You think they played Who's in My Mouth?
Right? It's like Blue's Clues, but with dicks. Oh my God.
Sorry, I had to throw that in there. Anyway.
Richard, what did you have? Did you have asparagus for lunch?
It's Greg.
Like, oh.
Ew. Okay, moving on.
Sorry, Mom.
I'm just playing with my bandana.
You're fine because you're nervous now. Anyway, so so we did that. They played Who's in My Mouth, and then
quick circle jerk.
They played Human Centipede, but without the stuff.
Oh no, God.
This is a very different energy than it was last week. Okay. So it was said that one prisoner was housed in the dungeon for 17 years, while another lived there for 11 years. So can you imagine just being in a pitch black, playing horrible sex games for like, and that's not what they were doing, but he was in there because he just kept like just pushing people's buttons, so they kept putting him down there. So he was in like pitch black. He didn't go fucking mad, but what a lot of people did say is that a lot of the prisoners would go mad down there, but this guy actually. He
was
eventually
so mad that he wasn't.
He was like, "This is fine. At least I don't have to see who's fucking me."
Thrive.
So yeah, exactly. So here are some of the other buildings. Moving on. So there was an outhouse. There was not an outhouse. There was an outside warehouse. There was a ball field for some weird reason.
Well, they gotta play ball.
I guess so.
It's America,
right? And these were buildings that were just slowly built over the years. There was a gas chamber.
I was just gonna say something really fucked up, but I won't. You could
compared to like what else we've said with circle jerks and human centipedes and games Who's in My Mouth. Okay.
I'm not gonna even say it.
That's fine. Then there was a license plate factory. There was a clothing factory. There's just then an array of kind of just different resident halls. It's not camp. Jail cells.
That's when the free labor started, when they made license plates and shit.
So yeah, and I'll get to a little bit of that in a little bit. There was a shoe factory, soap factory, a powerhouse, recreational building, a vocational building, tobacco shop, There's obviously a dining hall and a maintenance building. There's a machine shop. There's a furniture it's a whole little town. There's a commissary shop. There was cold storage. There was a hospital. There was an administration building, and then of course there was a chapel. So anyway,
going to the chapel and
yep, gonna come from the hole and get married, 'cause he was in my mouth a long time.
Is that how it goes?
Nope. Exactly how it goes. Anyway,
Can you guys hear this?
ASMR. Who were I talking to? I was talking on the boat the other day, or yesterday, when one of my friends was asking about the podcast. She's like, "Oh yeah, what do you do?" And then she's like, "Do you guys do ASMR?" I'm like, "No." Fuck. We actually talk about that. How much I fucking hate that shit.
How weird it is.
Oh, it's so weird, but people make so much fucking money off it. Anyway.
Yeah. Like 6-year-old, 18-year-old girl.
Right?
14-year-old girls.
Right?
In Fort Collins. And a bunch of weird creeps probably
Really?
watch her, and that freaks me out.
Probably.
That her parents are like, yeah,
just do it.
Just
gonna pay for your college.
Talk about weird shit on the internet.
It's fine, Savannah.
You're making us millions of dollars, child.
It's fine. It's good.
You're supporting
this is what
the
you're
family.
born. This is what you were born to do.
Fucking weird.
So weird. So
But you do you.
Yeah, that's right. So over the years, the prison became an industrial site, and by 1885, it housed 6, again, like I was saying, like the 6 shoe factories, the clothing, the broom, and the twine factories, and the largest saddle tree factory in the world. All these were worked by prison labor. So
The largest saddle tree?
I don't know what that is, but yes.
Like a saddle fucking
maybe back in
manufacturer,
like
I'm
the
assuming.
1800s, probably. Yeah,
Damn.
I didn't look it up.
That's...
I will say that.
and then, wait, what year was this?
This was 1885.
When was slavery abolished?
18
earlier than that.
earlier than that, but it still was like
But
it's
yeah,
still
that's how
slave
they-
labor.
that
I
was
mean,
a
and it's
that was a
still
loophole.
you can. I mean, technically,
You still
people
can do
are
that.
still prisons are still doing that today. So, which is fucking horrible and bananas. So in the early days,
Chartwell's at our school.
what?
We had jail workers that were working in our...
I didn't know that.
The kitchen of the...
What?
Yeah, the Chartwell's our fucking mess hall, whatever you fucking want to call it, or cafeteria. Yeah,
Really?
it was prison labor. A
That
lot of
is
it.
terrifying. Did you find any shivs in your freaking
No.
macaroni and cheese?
I mean, I think some of the people. I think they. I have no idea.
That's weird.
But we definitely did have prison labor
Ew.
in Chartwell's. Wonder, and
want
they
that.
still had to close down
Oh, did they? Oh,
our school.
first of all, I thought you were talking about like when you were little, when you were into Catholic school. Second of all,
No, I'm talking about Johnson and Wales University.
Holy
Chartwell's had prison labor for
shit.
the cafeteria. Yes,
the culinary school had prison labor in
our cafeteria.
the one where we paid an
Yeah, we're
ungodly
still
amount of
paying
tuition,
for a long time,
and they had prison labor for
They
the
had- yeah.
cool.
yeah.
Awesome. Way to go, J-Woo. Don't care because you're closed down, so fuck off. Anyway, so also in the early days, the MSP's prisoners were expected to give back to society. Many of the inmates were hired, in air quotes, by local businessmen, and that, if you couldn't tell my fucking voice, to build several buildings in the area, including the governor's mansion. Many of the buildings are still standing today. Other buildings include just basic homes throughout the community that, that good old inmate craftsmanship. Probably where like the nails are all jaggedy. But yeah,
It's like
you're like, who was your house built by? The Amish? Like, oh, no. Inmate J5, W5, whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm just making it up and I can't do it very well. Anyway, so yeah. So they also would go on to construct. They would also go on to construct the gas chamber from the stones in the
themselves.
prison yard, which would go on to kill 40 of the inmates. So they built their own little death chamber. That's pretty fucked up.
I'm gonna make this nice and comfortable right here
Yeah.
for when I have to go in.
Yeah, maybe if I just I'll just put a little note for myself. And, oh God.
I'll draw a star right here so
Right.
I can look at it.
So it'll be okay when I'll just build a little trough for my tears as I'm crying.
I mean, I guess some of those motherfuckers were bad motherfuckers.
No, they're bad
but-
motherfuckers, but like, damn.
Yeah.
They were just like, you know what, we're gonna milk this for what it's worth. Like, build a fucking place, like, build the guillotine. That's fine.
Lower the globe.
Lower the globe. So by
That
the
didn't
time
make any sense, but that's okay.
it's okay. By the turn of the 19th century, the penitentiary was considered one of the most efficient prisons in the country. It was reported that it was feeding inmates at 11 cents a day. So, at the time, though, that's...
Wow, look at that food cost. Yes. God damn, that is some raw food cost.
To be fair, that was in 1900. So
I just spit on the mic.
It's okay. Corona.
Good thing it's mine.
Right? Well, that's true. Nobody else touches that. That's your mic. 1900, 11 cents. I don't know what that's converts to today, but still, it's fucking... I'm sure it was very cheap.
Sure, that was a great food cost, though.
I'm sure it was. The prison grew as the time went on and housed about 5,200 inmates at its high capacity, far more than it was designed to hold, which is always seems to be like
always the case.
Like the sanitarium, like it was made to have 50 patients and have a nurse to each patient. It's like there was 15,000 patients in the one ward,
in the mental ward.
Jesus,
perfect.
So
we just gassed them,
as you do, or as it happens when you have like really shitty conditions. You know, tensions kind of flare up. So then let's jump to the 1954 riot. So, there was some buildup to this riot, of course. There was a low to staff, there was a low staff to convict ratio. Not radio. That was wrong. Oh my God. Okay, let's try that again. There was a low staff to convict ratio. Jesus Christ, Jay. The inmates were responsible for many important duties, such as carrying out head counts.
Great.
And making the keys for the cell blocks. So, you know, it was really leaning on the honor system at this point in time. Jesus. Hey, that serial killer over there, will you go and make sure that everyone is by their bunks tonight? And then if you could also take just take my keys. And you just go lock it up for me. Go for it.
I'm tired.
I'm really tired. So, you do you. So, anyway. So, the Truman Commission... that after all this happened, they came in and like kind of studied what kind of caused the riot. They used the words deplorable repeatedly in its report on the conditions of the facility, citing neglected health services, poor meals, and sanitary. Oh, shocking that there's poor meals and sanitary conditions and the lack
11 cents each.
Yes, and a lack of management. So, well, I mean, if they're making keys for everybody, like that's probably not the best. So. Inmates at the time claimed that there was brutal punishments of the prisoners by some, that there were brutal punishments of prisoners by like among the prison staff. So, but again, they didn't go into detail of what that was. But again, who knows?
Yeah, I can only imagine, especially back in the fucking early 1900s and shit.
They didn't have no freaking body cams. No,
they didn't have no fucking.
No, they didn't give a shit.
Remorse, like they.
No,
yeah.
You know, and it's interesting because like my cousin Shane, who has worked in the mental health facility, kind of industry for like a little bit, and he goes like, it is really scary because there are people still that just work in the mental health facility, like the health kind of environment, because they're looking to hurt people and they're sadistic people, and it's easy to get in because they're so in need of bodies just to have that ratio of people to make them legal or whatever, like in their hospitals. That they'll just hire anybody. So he's like, it's super scary. It's
what?
Like the health system is really fucked up. Yeah.
Well, I know that. I didn't know that was part of it too.
Because they're so desperate because they're underpaid, they're overwhelmed,
and so they just hire whoever that's not even fucking qualified to be giving people mental advice.
Even if they are qualified, like either like they'll see something spotty on their background check or whatever, and or they'll get constant reports on them, but they just don't fire them because of whatever. So it's just because they need the bodies. So it's just like, so he's like, no, there's a lot of sadistic people that work in the mental health facility. Like, I keep saying facility, the mental health system. In it, they shouldn't be. So it's super scary. So I can't imagine what it was like back then. So anyway, the riot began. I typed it all weird. Okay, so anyway, the riot began in E Hall. A 19-year-old in the unit named William Donald DeLapp called a guard to his cell, complaining that his sheets were wet due to a broken pipe, and that had been repaired earlier, and he didn't feel well. When the guard came, DeLapp overpowered him, grabbed his keys, and began turning other inmates loose.
Nice.
Eventually, prisoners from 5 buildings were freed. Estimates of the number of those who participated in the riot ranged from as few as 500 up to nearly half of the like at that time like around 3,300 people that like were in prison at the time. So
oh my God.
So a shit ton of people were just like running around. So the Missouri Highway Patrol was called in to take control of the riot, and eventually the Missouri National Guard and officers from Kansas City, Jefferson City, and St. Louis were called for backup. Convicts were they were throwing bricks and concrete.
Everyone stay in your house.
And that's pretty much what happened. Like Jefferson City, like they were arming themselves with guns because they were ready for like a mass breakout to happen. So they were the convicts were throwing bricks and concrete and like setting buildings on fire like it was a fucking shit show. And this is like the Cliff Notes version of it. Obviously, again, I'm just trying to get through the history. So several inmates were injured as troopers used like machine guns to open fire on rioters, but again, like it wasn't like the death toll for this riot wasn't super extreme, which is crazy. Like either they were bad shots or they were just firing it up in the sky.
Yeah.
And they stormed the deputy warden's office. Apparently, this caused like some inmates to surrender, while others ran to cell blocks B and C to like barricade themselves in. The following morning, 245 troopers met to decide on to plan to regain control of the situation. Eventually, 18 troopers were selected to go to the cell blocks where they cornered rioters and had that had been had barricaded themselves in. And then they eventually got it under control because a layer of 100 police officers and remaining troopers formed a perimeter around the building as backup. So in total, 4 inmates were killed during the riot and 50 were injured. 4 guards were injured and nearly $5 million in damage was caused by the riot.
Holy.
Which back in 1954 probably was fucking bananas. So among the facilities have been destroyed was the prison's recreational building, vocational building, tobacco shop, license plate factory, and the dining hall that also housed a chapel and a school. So one of the 4 inmates that was killed was Walter Lee Donnell, who actually was killed by his fellow inmates. He was considered a snitch because he had been testified against members of a gang that had carried out unarmed robberies in St. Louis. He was in protective custody in death row, which sucks because, again, he was in the hole. Can you imagine? Okay, well, this is where you get to live now. Watch out for the wieners. Just kidding.
Shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth. Close your eyes. So the inmates figured this was a good time as any to seek revenge, and they busted through the stone wall with a sledgehammer, and then they proceeded to use a sledgehammer on Walter Lee.
Oh,
so they killed him with a sledgehammer. So I think that the police, when they came in, they were described him as unrecognizable because he was so bashed in. Yeah,
sledgehammer will do that.
Right, and there was also reports that he also had been stabbed, but again, I didn't look up the autopsy report. So anyway,
God the rest. Damn it, Shay!
I fucked up. So the rest of the time at MS, I just put an abbreviation. So MSP operated it. Oh my gosh, the rest of the time at the Missouri Penitentiary operated pretty much without any incident, and then it finally closed in 2004. Okay, so that's the history. So the ghosts. Here we go.
Let's talk about the ghosts.
Yeah, pretty good. Okay, so anyway, so obviously there was reports of ghosts and such before they closed the doors in 2004, and there was I guess there was a ghost where a convict and a guard had seen somebody walking, and the guard was getting all pissed off because he was he knows he shouldn't be fucking out at counts, and he was yelling at him, and then it was he just kind of walked, he kept walking away, but the guard didn't chase him, and the convict actually was standing by the guard. He was yeah, that's a ghost, and he's you're not gonna get that dude, and sure enough, it really was. There was nobody. I think they looked on cameras. I think because it was back in the 90s, they looked on cameras and nothing was there. So they're
God, weird.
That just makes me a little vomity. So, but actually, it was this one, it was, for whatever reason, it was hard to find websites and stuff like that actually have because sometimes you can read through something and this is the ghost that you see, and these are it's really hard to find that stuff online, and I'm wondering if they keep it under wraps, where you know how we went up to Estes and they're very, very particular, do not do photography, and I think it's they want to keep it kind of a secret,
they can do it
right themselves. And I can only appreciate that. I can appreciate that. So anyway, I had to kind of lean on a lot of docs, and unfortunately I had to lean on Ghost Adventures for this. So
hey, they have some legit stuff, unfortunately.
I just don't like him yelling at them all the time.
Oh, speaking of Ghost Hunters, my little brother said that episode of Ghost Hunters in Plaviglia.
Yeah, Paviglia
Was one of his favorite episodes.
Yeah, you're welcome, Austin. Okay.
He was like, that's like one of my favorite ones. I was like, good.
It's amazing. Actually, it was one of my favorite ones.
They are just ridiculous people sometimes.
They are. And I just feel bad because I'll tell you about this in a minute. Anyway, so there are reports of growling and disembodied voices in the basement, so in the hole. During tours, tour guides will turn off all the lights. If you hear
growling, you know that means it's good.
Yeah.
In my hole.
In my hole. God. Fucking foul. So fuck, where am I? So during tours, tour guides will turn off the light and down the hole to give you like the real experience of being down there.
Scary as fuck.
It is. So, and you can't like see an inch in front of your nose. So it's like it's pitch black down there.
Ew, that is so scary.
It's pretty fucking foul. So from Ghost Hunters, Zach claimed to have claims to feel an overwhelming feeling of sadness when he was down there. Other reports of ghostly encounters in the building are like the feeling of having been touched by ghostly hands.
Oh.
An overwhelming smell of body odor, which I can only imagine.
Oh my god, ew.
An apparition of a man has been like spied on the catwalk. So like underneath A Hall, which is again I think it's one of the only ones still standing. So apparently like an A Hall, which is below or above the hole. So it's the only building I think is still standing. And if you look at it, it's something. And I feel like movies have been shot there, like old. It has like a very Shawshank Redemption. Oh my god, Shawshank Redemption feel to it. Holy crap,
You fine.
I'm parched. So it's like, and when you see pictures, you're gonna like, oh yeah, for sure. Like I've seen pictures of this. Really, I mean, like it's just, the walls are peeling off. It looks fucking foul. I can't imagine even it being open in 2004. It's so gross.
Ew,
it's really
weird.
It's really, really foul when you go inside the jail cells, because you can go and like, I'll tell you about the tours in a little bit, but like the where they put these inmates. I mean, it was like, it hasn't been updated probably since like the 70s or 60s, and again, even then, it's the oldest freaking prison on like freaking, I'm sure, in America. So I can't. It's just a super gross. I don't know how people didn't die of just disease and asbestos. I really don't understand it. Anyways, and it must have been so fucking cold and hot. Like I really wonder. Anyway. Yeah. Anyway, so there's an apparition of a man that has been spied on that catwalk. So there's a catwalk where you can like look. It's kind of connecting all the buildings. So there's been an apparition there. There's movements in the darkness, so people can be felt like things like are moving past them when they're down. No, yeah, it's gross. Equipment often yes, right. Yikes! Gross. So equipment often malfunctions there, like in the hole and in a hall. Disembodied voices have been captured on recorders, and some have felt the invisible force of breathing down their necks.
Oh, no.
Oh, God. Jesus Christ.
No,
got the goosies. I don't like it. So in A Hall, so again, above the hole, there have been reports of being grabbed from behind. In cell number 76, that's where the inmate was murdered by the other inmates, there are reports of people have had stomach pains, like of being stabbed, and in one account there was someone who claimed to have his insides had been twisted, and he actually had an X-ray to validate it, which is bananas.
What?
Yeah, so it's one of the tour guides, I believe, and he said that he actually had X-rays to validate that his stomach had been twisted in knots.
Dude, what the why?
I'd be like, well,
how?
I fucking quit.
How?
Yeah.
And you're paying for my stomach.
Yeah, everything. Gross.
You're paying for my prebiotics, my probiotics.
So gross. Or maybe you drank the water. I don't know what it was. Another report.
Holy shit.
People have had like strange, heavy feelings and like depressed, and an unearthly human figure has been caught on camera.
Ew.
Just in that same cell. In cell number 85 is reported as one of the most haunted locations. It is located on the old woman's, it is located in the old women's cell block. And one of the inmates that used to be housed in that block would wake up to a ghost every night. So he would just like get spooked, and he would wake up every single night. And she was called the Gray Lady, and she would just be like standing over his bed.
Gross.
You looking for a fucking?
I know that you're not gonna ever have one and ever again.
You look like a good drone. Come here.
I can rip your dick off.
I can get you my sting box. Anyway,
get your endophallus over here.
So attractive. I should put that in my dating profile.
If you have an endophallus,
that needs attended to. That's so foul. I'm not this vulgar, you guys, in real life. I'm actually very shy. Anyway, I just feel safe right now. Okay. In general,
this one's very vulgar.
I know it's a little.
Week.
I'd be
There's
like,
just too many
maybe
innuendos to
Mom,
not.
don't listen to this one. Anyway, in general, there are reports of people being, and this is just all over the grounds. There are reports of people being bruised or scratched. And weirdly, some have even heard the ghosts of children and dogs, which doesn't make any sense. But maybe they just go hand in hand with ghosts. I'm like, I heard a child laughing. Like, that sounds about right. Yeah. We're in a haunted place, but I don't know why the dogs. But maybe a dog died. I don't know. People.
He was a watcher of the
he
yard.
could have, like, what if he's a German Shepherd? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why it has to be just a German Shepherd, but back.
I mean, maybe it was a German.
Maybe it was a German Shepherd. You know how they do that? They're the ghostiest of ghosty dogs. Remember, like in All Dogs Go to Heaven, he was a German Shepherd.
Oh my God, you're fucking right.
Dude,
it was a German Shepherd.
We talked about Thumbelina. We have talked about all. It's like it's been like
Smacks.
We've talked about like Don. It's like Don Bluth, like freaking Cartoon Hour.
You're right.
Right.
He was in that too, wasn't
he?
Well,
those were all his movies. He produced all those movies. So Troll in the Central Park.
Oh yeah.
Troll in this. I'm adding like adverbs and
Troll in the actual Central Park.
In the Central Park, yeah. Anyway, so moving on. People have also heard cell door slamming, ghostly footsteps, loud banging, shadowy figures, the smell of cigarette smoke, objects being mysteriously moved around, and fast-moving entities. They also report have.
Ew, why are they so fast?
It's like they got the zoomies. They've also report feeling like have felt dread, a sense of sorrow, and feeling of being watched.
Yep.
Near the control room, and in some of the housing units is said to lurk an entity known as Fast Jack. Usually spied wearing a white lab coat, which has fucking like House on Haunted Hill written all over it, which scares the shit out of me. And carrying a clipboard, he is thought to have been a trustee who worked in the medical facilities. At one point, a tour guide passed through a control center to secure the outer doors, only to return just a few minutes later to find that all the lockers had been opened.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Others report him as having been seen in hallways, moving through the walls, or appearing for short moments before vanishing. So apparently he's one of the main attractions.
He's an active one.
He's an active one. He's got to get his rounds in.
He does with his clipboard.
Yes.
His handy dandy clipboard.
100%. So in and around the gas chamber, there are reports of people being pushed. There are also feelings of rapid heartbeats when entering the gas chamber as well, which is shocking. And actually, there was I was reading how they're like it was one of the interviews with one of the guides or whatever, and they said it's the only prank that we do. So they'll turn on so apparently so you can actually, which I thought this was so fucking foul, which I actually made a note to talk about this in a few seconds, but like they're on the tour, you have an exclusive access to the gas chamber, and you can actually sit in the fucking chairs. Like, they never pulled them out. You can sit in the chairs that these people died in.
Great.
And they like do photo ops, I guess, with you or whatever, which I don't know if I could sit down in the actual chair that somebody that just freaks me out.
No.
So, and apparently they were saying that one of the pranks, it's the only prank that they do, that they actually do. It has nothing to do with the ghost. So it's still got most of the components of the gas chambers in it. Obviously, they take the lines out. There's no access, like there's no way that it can actually be a functioning gas chamber. But there's a little fan what they would do. So after somebody would die, in order to open the door to make sure it was safe, they would flip on that fan to make sure that all the excess, like whatever the components was to push it out. So the prank is that sometimes they'll flip that fan on, and he said it makes almost every single person like jump out of the chair and almost like just run out the front door of like the whole thing.
Ew.
Which I'm just like, I probably would. I'd be like, fuck that, like it's coming on, I'm gonna die. So it's
Oh my God, that's really funny.
It is pretty funny. So they're like, we do admit that is not a ghostly thing. It's a prank that we do. We had to kind of gauge our audience or whatever. But, so if you would like to go to one of these these haunted tours, there's a bunch of different ones. You can do I think there's, what did it say? I didn't write it down. I thought I did. You can do, I think a 2-hour one, a 3-hour one. You can do an overnight tour. So there's a whole different array of tours you can do at this prison, and I will absolutely not.
Would you, if we were when we're making it big and shit, and people bring us to doing real field trips.
That's fine. I'm not doing the overnight one. I will do.
What if they make us? But they're like, this is the only way you can do it. Would you do it?
Dude, I don't know. That scares the shit out of me.
What if you just get possessed overnight?
100%. Why does your mic keep falling down? I don't understand.
Also, did I tell you about me and Chris's maybe ghost encounter in our house twice?
No.
We might have a ghost. Well, apparently we do have a ghost, but we don't know for sure yet.
Interesting.
The people that used to live there asked if we had encountered it, and we were like, what?
Yeah.
Anyways, but so one day I was taking a shower, and I've felt some things.
Right.
And it's not anything evil. It's supposedly the old the grandma or something.
Right. She's just hanging out.
This family that literally most of half the family still lives on this block.
Yeah, she's just hanging out.
But so I was in the bathroom and I was taking a shower, and Chris was I don't know, smoking a bong or something, and he came into the bathroom and he was bringing his bong into the bathroom, and I was washing my hair or something, and all of a sudden the light shuts off, literally just, it's not flickering, but it shut off. And it was right when Chris was gonna walk into the bathroom, and Chris has shut the light off for me before.
Yeah.
And I'm and then I was shaving my leg. I was like, oh, that's fine. I actually wanted the light off because it was hot as fuck. And he's like, I did not fucking do that. And I was like, okay, Chris. He's
whatever.
I swear to God, I was standing right here. I did not turn the light off. And I was like, are you serious? Because it was on. It was off, on. It wasn't a flicker. It wasn't
it was
off and on.
It was
and I was like, okay.
It was that.
And then I think it was either before that happened or it was either after, but I forget. But our entertainment center, we have DVDs in our entertainment center. It's always shut. We don't watch DVDs.
Right.
And one day
it was just open.
They were all open. And I was like, did you go in there? And Chris was like, no. And I was like, yeah, I definitely haven't gone in to get DVDs. I don't know the last time we went and saw.
Dude.
I don't even know the last time we watched a DVD.
You need some sage.
I have some.
You should sage it.
But that's the only thing.
Just sage it.
But then I was like, maybe I did open these.
Just sage it in case.
But now I have to go back to my house by myself.
Just sage it.
I do have sage and Palo Santo.
You'll be okay. Just sage it. Okay. Sounds like it's just a friendly
ghost. And Maren, my roommate, duplex neighbor.
Yeah, your neighbor.
She was like, just send them over to me if you ever get scared.
Aww.
I hang out with them. No, she didn't say that. But
oh, that'd be funny. I like it.
But yeah, so I might have a ghost in my house, so I'll keep you guys updated.
Oh yeah, please do. You could do a little paranormal on that.
Yeah.
So on your little ghost story, you'll get access to a psychic medium. Ooh. You have, again, the exclusive access to the gas chamber. You have exclusive access to most of the haunted areas, and then to cell 76, which is the one where the guy died. And then you will have a ghost hunt with experienced ghost hunting team. So it does actually sound pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And you get to use the equipment, which is the includes trigger objects and EMF meters. So it does sound pretty fucking dope. Not gonna lie, but I would have to be drinking a lot of alcohol in order for me to be yeah, this is cool. Let's spend the night here.
This is great.
Jesus. Anyway. Okay.
That sounds pretty
freaky. That's my story. That's my story.
I liked it.
It was a good one.
Gave me the heebie-jeebies for sure.
That was a little longer than I thought, so I apologize for that one.
That's fine. Well,
yeah.
I guess we should roll the dice. But first,
do your thing.
Hey guys, it's Bree here. Thanks for watching, and thanks for not watching, because this is a podcast.
That's 100% correct.
So, if you don't already, if this is your first time listening, welcome. If it's not, welcome back. And follow us on Instagram if you don't. THURDYISH. We have a Facebook. We're on Facebook. Keep sending us your DMs. Keep sharing our funny memes that you like. We love that. let us know what you think of us.
Do it.
Rate and review our shit on iTunes so more people can find us.
Because we love doing this.
Yeah,
we love you.
We love you all.
All of you.
It's a great time.
It is a good time.
Also, I promise you, I'm still making my 30-ish playlist. So keep sending me. I'm going to probably repost something about that because I want to bust it out in like August for like the end of summer kind of thing.
Yes.
But anyway.
It'd be fun.
Keep sending me your fucking favorite 90s, 80s songs. And we love you and
sweet.
Let's roll the motherfucking dice, y'all.
Let's see what we got going on today. I've even pulled my list up. Look at us. We're like freaking
We're
on it
on
today.
Our game today. Yeah. I feel it.
We're making new neural pathways.
We are.
I'm rolling this dice extra long too and make sure.
It gets a new thing.
It gets a new thing.
Better not roll a 6.
Or a 2. Come on,
2. Manifestation.
Damn it.
3. Food.
Cooking. It's okay. I got a good one
you
already.
You got a good one?
Oh, I got a good one.
Oh, God.
I got a good one.
Shay's been waiting for this.
I've been waiting for this.
Okay, here we go.
I'm so excited.
4. History. Yes! I wanted history so bad.
I'm so excited for next week. So it's going to be a good one,
History
I think.
and food. I can't wait. All right, y'all. Well, we'll catch you later, Gators.